Hey everyone, hope you're having another amazing week. This week, I want to do something a little bit different. Instead of just giving you strategies or maybe a list of tips, I just want to share what this past year taught me. And I'll be honest, it was an up and down year. It was a humbling year in so many ways. It's not about the highlights today. It's about talking about real life, the ups and the downs and the challenges. And I'm excited to talk about all those things with you. So stay tuned. Welcome to the Passive Income MD podcast, where we talk about creating your ideal life through multiple streams of income. If you enjoy hearing about this stuff, make sure to hit subscribe. Now let's get on with the show. All right, everyone. I hope you're having an amazing time wherever you are. I mean, I'm recording this at the end of the year. For many of us, we just came off a Thanksgiving break. I hope you had an amazing one with your family, wherever you were able to spend time. Hopefully you're able to create some amazing memories with the people you love. I usually do some reflecting in December to think about how the year went. And of course, a plan for the following year. I talked about my planning strategy, but what I didn't talk about is what reflection looks like for me. So I think about my life in terms of my businesses, how I was as an investor, my relationships with my wife, my kids. I think about all of these things. And just to be honest with you, the type of person I am, I just like to think optimistically. I've done so many of these personality tests, and I'm like the ever optimist. I like to move forward. I like to bring up new ideas. I don't like to dwell in challenges or problems. However, now at the stage of life I'm in, I recognize the importance of just looking back and sometimes just sitting in some of the challenges to understand what they were about. It gives me a greater sense of appreciation, but it also reminds me of what I've learned. And the goal is to use that to move forward in a powerful and strong way. I'll tell you right off the bat, some days I won this year. Some days I absolutely did not. But again, at the end of the day, I'm just grateful to be here. So I thought a good place to start talking about my year was in the area of real estate. Obviously, it's an area that I've been involved in heavily over the last decade plus. It's something I enjoy talking about. We have communities around this stuff. I have businesses around real estate deals. And I can let you know that this was one of the hardest years for real estate, hands down, that I can remember. Real estate goes in cycles, so there's no doubt this time would come. But it's been interesting to see it play out. I mean, the last 3 years of real estate have not been fun at all. I mean, interest rates rose faster than anybody expected. Debt and lending became major issues for so many different real estate properties. A lot of the construction that happened over the last few years as a result of low interest rates now came on the market, which affected the supply, which meant that there were a lot of competition for properties. And so rents weren't able to be increased. There wasn't a lot of rent growth in certain markets. And so many deals that looked good on paper a couple of years ago by all metrics, by all underwriting, taking into account all sorts of different factors, suddenly just didn't look good anymore. And the truth is, anyone who was involved in real estate, especially in the multifamily area in the last 3 years, was affected. Nobody was immune. So many of you know I invest passively. I invest actively, have my own properties. And then I also run some real estate investments, meaning that I help to lead certain deals. And as I mentioned, there were wins and there were losses. This year, the losses felt heavier. And it's tough for someone like me, especially when I've been used to winning in terms of real estate for many, many years. Investments in all three of those areas, again, had some wins and definitely had some losses. I mean, here are some of the things that I learned. I have greater respect for debt and lending. It matters so much at the end of the day because it gives you a deadline and a timeline for a deal. We all know that you lose only when you're forced to sell. If you can hold, especially when it comes to real estate, and you can hold through a part of the cycle, it's been shown over time that you can ultimately recover and do well. But when you're lending and your debt, meaning the loans have a certain term and there's a deadline to it, and you've run into some bad timing, there's not much you can do. And so that was a hard lesson learned. Also with market conditions, it can change way faster than you expect. No one expected rates to increase as they did, faster than they've done in anyone's lifetime, pretty much, who's been involved in real estate. But it can happen. All the risks that you underwrite and you put in safety measures for, when things don't go well, usually doesn't go well all across the board. So I just have a greater respect for some of the risk involved in real estate. It's not that I didn't know that there was risk, but I understand the downside so much more. Of course, I was a beneficiary of a lot of the upside over the last 10 years. And again, the way I think about real estate is, and I've heard over and over again, that it is a 10-year cycle. In any given decade, you're probably going to have 7 to 8 good years of real estate and 2 to 3 years that don't go as well. You got to be prepared for those years. And those years will come. And I think everyone knew that that timing was coming. But I have a better understanding of how to protect yourself in that time. Hey, everyone, I have a quick question for you. Are you looking for a secure and reliable long-term investment strategy? Meet Eckert Enterprises. It's a family-owned and operated firm with over 35 years of experience specializing in U.S. energy and alternative investments. Here at Passive Income MD, you often hear me talk about the need to diversify. One of the safest investment strategies available today are mineral rights. And with Eckert Enterprises, you can diversify your portfolio. Their team is committed to helping private investors like you and me identify and develop successful diversified portfolios. With an average return on investment of over 24% across their portfolios, the Eckert team is dedicated to helping you build and protect your wealth through long-term passive income. All of this while minimizing the risks associated with traditional investments. So check out Eckert Enterprises. If you want that great investment experience, go to EckertEnterprises.com. Again, that's EckertEnterprises.com. Hey, what's up, everyone? Just want to ask you a quick question. Are you ready to take your medical career beyond the traditional boundaries of medicine and amplify your impact? Well, I want to tell you about the Leverage and Growth Accelerator community. Just so you know, we created this exclusive community just for physicians like you who want to expand their identities without giving up their doctor identities. It's an add-on. It's not a replacement. When we hosted our first Leverage and Growth Summit, I know many of you have been part of that, we realized that so many doctors were inspired by the what and why of entrepreneurship, but needed help with the how and when. And that's why we created this community called the Leverage and Growth Accelerator to help doctors learn how to start, grow, or scale a thriving business and connect with like-minded individuals who also want to make a positive contribution to the world. Within this community, you're going to experience a life of greater fulfillment. It's really a powerful antidote to burnout where you can leverage your medical degree for new opportunities and take command of your time and schedule so you can invest in your family's future while enjoying today. In the Leverage and Growth Accelerator, you're going to have access to educational materials, you're going to have insights from expert speakers, small group coaching, and most importantly, you're going to have community support to help you realize your untapped potential. And we're so confident in the transformative power of this members-only community that we're offering the first 30 days for free. If you're interested, I want you to take advantage of this. This window of opportunity is not going to last forever. So go now to lgacommunity.com. Again, that's lgacommunity.com. If you're ready to take your medical career to the next level and make a profound impact in the world and do it together with other like-minded people, it's time to join us. We can't wait to see you inside. I've learned to take a lot of responsibility for the decisions I made during this time, especially with some of the people that, I partnered with. And I've had to learn, what is my responsibility? When things don't go as well, where can I step in? What are my rights? What can I learn from this? I mean, I felt like I knew real estate before, but I feel like the education that's come over the last couple of years is something that you can't necessarily pay for, or maybe you do pay for it in losses, at least personally. But like I've talked about so many times before, I never feel like losses are true losses. If you learn something from them, you learn to take them and move them forward, you can find a way that it'll benefit you in the future. And that's the way I've been thinking about all these things. And I want to let you know, not everything went poorly. I mean, some deals actually performed quite well. Deals that were focused a lot on cash flow, consistent cash flow on a monthly basis. Those deals did quite well. So it reminded me again that diversification is so important. There'll be ups and there'll be downs in certain asset classes, certain deals, certain operators, certain sponsors, certain times in the market. And you just can't be right all the time. So it really helped me understand the concept that diversification protects you when you're wrong, but it does reward you when you're right. And that's a beautiful thing. So I'm taking these lessons about real estate into the next year. I mean, if I want to look back at my other investments as well, I was able to diversify in some other asset classes, or at least see the performance of some of the asset classes that I have diversified into over these last few years. And it's been interesting to see that up against real estate. Some of the more recent asset classes that I've gone into, like mineral rights, that have very little correlation with traditional real estate, has done really quite consistently, produced strong cash flows. I'm still learning about this asset class, but watching its performance during this time has shown me a lot. But it doesn't give me any sort of indication as future performance. But it's been a great learning experience to watch how it performs during this time. I've also ventured a little bit into some other commodities like precious metals. I've invested in some gold. I've invested in some silver. Again, not because these are get-rich-quick schemes. They're not cash-flowing assets, but they're a way to hedge. One thing this time has also allowed me to do is make different relationships. I met a lot of different sponsors, people I never invested with before. It's allowed me to see how certain operators do during this time and what are the fundamentals that are important to them that allow them to still continue to create value. Again, I don't think anybody's been immune to what's happened over the last couple of years, but it's allowed me to see who's resourceful, who's not, who's still in the game, who gives up, who communicates well, who still chases returns, who's doing things best for their investors. And that, I believe, will help serve me and our community moving forward. Another thing I've learned a lot about is this whole concept of liquidity. And liquidity is basically just having cash on hand or having things that can be converted to cash quickly and easily. I've learned when markets get tight, whether it's in the stock market, whether it's in the real estate market, when the economy changes. I mean, we're in healthcare, so a lot of us are immune to some of those challenges. But of course, again, I've heard of a lot of physicians and their groups getting taken over by private equity or by the hospital and foundations, or their groups getting kicked out. During that time, what will create safety, at least emotional and psychological safety for you? It's having liquidity. It might mean having cash in the bank. It might mean having reserves. And when certain investments didn't go well, I would always look to see what I had in my bank. When that number was good, when I had that cash, it made me feel like I didn't need to panic. It didn't force me into any bad decisions. It even allowed me to invest during this time and take advantage of certain parts of the market, play offense, not just defense, and allowed me just to really feel steady, like I can take care of my family. There's a peace and steadiness that comes with liquidity or cash that's really hard to describe unless you run into some challenges. So what's that done for me? At least mentally, it's helped me realize that a cash buffer is really, really important. It's helped me slow down on some of my decisions. In some ways, it's freed me up from rushing at the end of the year just to save on taxes and throw money into forward-facing investments. And it's kept me from necessarily just rushing money into investments that I won't be able to touch for a while just to save on taxes. And of course, the focus, as it always has been, is on the two most important words in real estate or in investments, and that's just cash flow. I absolutely believe now moving forward, and have a strong appreciation for it, that the future me will appreciate having a good amount of liquidity, having cash on hand. I know it feels like sometimes with inflation that cash is burning a hole in your pocket, and to some degree it is, but there is some level of comfort knowing that you have that. So finding that nice balance is a bigger priority to me now. Of course, in the world of entrepreneurship that I'm involved in, just new set of lessons. It always happens every year. Nothing has changed in terms of the fact that entrepreneurship and business is unpredictable in a lot of ways. It's a fun and exciting thing and a way to create freedom and scale and leverage what you're doing. It's a way to grow and find other cool ways to contribute. And through Passive Income MD, our community has only gotten stronger. It's grown in so many ways in terms of not only readership or participation, but in terms of engagement at our PIMD conference, our Momentum Mastermind, our Leverage and Growth Accelerator community. Even listeners to this podcast have grown. And so thank you so much. It's been an incredible year of growth, even through the challenges. And this year, more than ever, I've really focused on building the right team to support everyone here and what we're doing here and the mission that we have moving forward. I learned more than ever this year that it's people that make all the difference. What I mean by people is not only the community that's surrounding you, but of course, people that are part of your team to help, to grow. And I've made some key changes at the company over the past year, which has done amazing things and really multiplied our impact. And for that, I'm so grateful. And of course, the biggest role that I believe, just being part of my family, being a husband and father. While this year, more than ever, especially with some of the challenges we've had, has just forced me to slow down. Sometimes I have, just like anybody else, the temptation, or I guess I just want to get things done, and I have task-oriented and mission-oriented, and I've got goals. And sometimes I'm just always on the go, go, go. This year has forced me more than ever to kind of slow down, to be present, to listen. I think it happened when my kids told me that I was on my phone too much. And of course, my first instinct as a father is to protect the family. I want to make sure everyone's safe and good and financially in a good position. And we have all these amazing, incredible things to do. This year, again, taught me just to slow down a bit. Presence matters more than anything. And so this year, we focused on more than ever creating incredible memories and having moments. And I'm so proud of the fact that we hit that goal of 10 family trips this year. And again, these are memories that we'll have for a lifetime. Now, at the end of the day, I always made it my why to spend more time with my family, be more present with them. But sometimes you can get caught up in other things. And so I just had to remind myself this year to go back to that. My goal is to spend as much time, meaningful time, quality time, and create as many memories with my family as possible. I've got some incredible goals in 2026 that I'm setting, and I'm so excited to make those happen. Putting that all together, what did this year really teach me? Again, here's a list of things that are just here in the top of my mind, that failures will happen, but they're more like feedback. They'll help you do better in the future, and I absolutely believe that. You will get humbled once in a while. Even if you're used to wins, just the way cycles are, some things will not go well, while other things will continue to go well. And that's why diversification It's not just a luxury. It is so important. Unless you have an infinite amount of money and it doesn't matter whether you lose or you win or it doesn't impact you from a lifestyle perspective, having the diversification keeps you steady and keeps you from going up and down the roller coaster on those highs and lows. It'll keep you more even. I mean, that's where liquidity and cash comes in too. That is your safety measure. That is the superpower. Having liquidity, having that cash will provide that security for you at the end of the day and help you sleep well at night. I've also learned overall, people matter. And again, I've known that, but the people you surround yourself with, the relationships you have, the people that you hire, those matter way more than anything else, especially the deals that you choose. For me, I've learned that being present for my family is the most important thing above all. I'm just grateful to have gone through this year. Yes, some challenges. Yes, a bunch of wins. And I know this is all setting me up to have a better future. I know 2026 will have its own set of challenges, but 2025 has prepared me for those challenges. So I'm just curious, what did this year teach you? Was it an easy year, a hard year? Were there some challenges? Did it hurt you? Did it help you? Where did you grow? What are the lessons that you learned? I want to let you know if this year was tough for you, you're not the only one. And the more you can connect with other members of the community so you can share with them about what you've learned, they can share with you, the better off you'll be. Thanks for letting me be part of this community, letting me share with you honestly. It means so much to me. Have an awesome rest of the year. I appreciate you. Take care. Let's talk again soon. Enjoy the show? Let me know by dropping a review in the podcast app you're listening to us in. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit subscribe. Join thousands of physicians who are also on this journey to creating their ideal lives through multiple streams of income. Learn more at our website, passiveincomemd.com. Thanks again for allowing me to be a part of your journey. See you next time.